very similar to this to put the little girl's face in there. So I'm going to again use probably, let's try the quick selection tool because I just want to pick up this book and that fabulous paperclip. So I'm going to go down in here. And again, I'm seeing this is getting a little funkadunky. So I'm going to do the same trick I did before, which is here. I'm going to go to the edge. I'm going to soften this edge. Let me see, I'm going to actually go in here using the last polygon tool. I'm going to straighten this edge up. I'm going to use a minus. And I'm going to go in here and just... And notice I'm selecting outside of it. It's being obnoxious. I just want to straighten that edge just a smidge. Okay, straighten that edge. This edge is a little funky. I'm going to use my lasso tool to just go in here. So you'll notice that with me, I go in and I use all the different kinds. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. I use all the different kinds of tools to get exactly what I want. Okay, I'm going to soften this edge again. Selection, modify, feather, and I'm going to feather this by 4 also. Okay, now, oops, it missed that part, so I got to go back in and out. It doesn't matter because I'm going to take that out anyways. Okay, so I'm going to take this over to my untitled. I'm going to plus. Now remember, one of the things about trompe l'oeil is things have got to look like they're the right size. And this does not look like it's the right size, so I'm going to make it bigger. So it looks like this size. You can go with it somewhat. Remember that the bigger you make them, they tend to blur out a little bit, but I think we're going to be okay with this. All right, so we've got her. She's going back into banana and frame. Don't want you in banana and frame. I'm going to make a new folder. This time I'm going to put them in myself, and this is going to be, this is Martha. And in Martha, I'm going to stick, I'm going to put in Martha, I'm going to stick that. And Martha, where's Martha living at the moment? Is that Martha? Yeah. All right, I'm going to put Martha in there. All right, so now if I turn off banana, all of that disappears. And we just sort of start thinking about Martha. So Martha's going to go inside this. I'm going to turn Martha off for a moment. And I want to get rid of this frame area. So I'm going to get much closer, Command plus plus, so I can look at this really closely. Then I'm going to use the polygon lasso because I want that little bit of a black edge because that makes everything go in a little bit. All right. I'm going to have to do something specific with this, but I'm going there first. And I'm going to use the marquee tool. So adding a layer mask, I just added the wrong way, so I'm going to reverse these and add a layer mask. Oh, nope. I always have this problem with getting these layer masks right. All right. So what I have to do is select inverse, and then add the layer mask. There we go. Just took a moment. All right. So now I'm going to use the masking layer, and I want to clean this up a little bit. So I'm going to get in really close. And I'm going to go in. Now you can do one of two things. Because you can erase out with a brush, or you can erase out with the eraser. Let's start with the eraser. And erase out very, very gently. This is too soft. So I'm going to unsoften it, make it a little harder. Now I could have done this differently. I could have actually used the brush by reversing these out so that I was reversing and I could use the brush here. So I could do the same thing with the brush. If I wanted to. So I'm going to use the brush on this section. Just because now the brush is the white is reducing, removing. And again, I'm going to have to get a little smaller. To just, come on, even smaller. Okay. All right. To get down into this. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm going to take Nwambi off too, but that'll be in a minute. So we're going to move this underneath that. Turn her on. We're going to take her, move her over here. I'm going to rotate her and size her up. Oof, decisions. Yeah, I gotta have her fill the frame, so I'm gonna have her fill the frame like that. Actually, because this is a Polaroid, it should be this direction. There. Not loving that white edge, so I'm gonna make it as big as I can, making sure that if you took a Polaroid, you'd really get the whole little girl in there. All right, now I'm gonna bring everybody else back. In the background back. Let's see where we're at. Okay, so I've got her sitting up there. I need to do the same thing with her. I'm going to, now that I've got Martha as a whole thing, she's within her own little bit, right? If I turn her off, she turns off the whole Martha. I'm going to rotate her. I have to clean that edge up, but we'll do that in a minute. And I'm going to rotate her to be more this direction. I need to go back in here to this, and I need to, I can actually do this with making sure these are in the right direction. Hit delete. Oops. All right, I wanted to do this. I wanted to clear her. There we go. All right, so now I've got Martha in there. We've got the banana. And I'm not loving where Martha is. So Martha's going to go all the way down a bit. Yeah. And you'll see one of the things I do is I spend a lot of times moving things around. I'm going to move Martha down here and make her just a smidgen smaller. She's going to need a shadow too. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to just make one for her. I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to use a polygon lasso because I know pretty much she's square, so I can kind of make the shadow like that. I'm going to fill it. Shadows are funny things because you see them but you don't see them. So you're not really aware of a shadow, but you're aware when there's not one present that things flatten. So now I'm going to do motion blur. I'm just going to use what's in there. Ooh, edit, undo, motion blur. I'm into the whole of Martha. Oops. Edit, undo, deselect, edit, undo, paint bucket. All right, I didn't make a new layer. So I need to make a new layer because I just blew that. All right, so let's make my new layer. This happens, you know, we're all not perfect. I'm going to fill it with black. Okay. Now, I'll deselect, Command D. Use the filter that's the motion blur is sitting up here. Is the last thing I used. There it is. And it's sitting above Martha, so I need to locate it in the right place. And again, I will bring the fill down to opacity down quite a bit. Okay. And what happens with a good shadow is it sort of pushes things up a little bit. Not sure I like this pattern in the back and around here. I'm going to go and play with that a little bit. And I'll be back soon.